a lot there, but let's go through the views of what people view. And maybe you view this way, and that's fine. I really don't care what you view. I care more about what you do with it. So 4 views of these seals taken from the 4 different viewpoints. The historic view basically says the seals are the beginning of the Revelation timeline. Starting with the Roman Empire, civil conflict that marked Rome's rise and occupation with famines, destructions of Rome. Pause. That's true. But is it the right view? Because, ladies and gentlemen, all throughout history, we can look back. Thank God for historians. We can look back at Rome and say, there was conquest, there was a white horse riding, there was peace taken from the region. You can just look at the birth of Jesus, and there was no peace. You can look throughout everything, and he died on a Roman cross to anybody who would talk against Rome. Pulling peace from it, resulting in economic issues all throughout the Roman Empire at that time, and ultimately it led to famines, one of the greatest famines, and you'll talk about in Seal 6, earthquakes, and all these other devastating things have happened in Rome. But is this the right viewpoint? We'll talk. Well, go back, Joseph, please. Which basically summarized the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse rode to kick off the timeline of the end times. Let's go to the next one. So the Presbyterian view, basically the seals happened only during the Roman war, which led to the destruction of the temple. In other words, it says that the seals were broken. Everything in the book of Revelation happened at that time in Roman history. And we can say, yes, no, maybe so. Was Caesar the Antichrist? Was he an Antichrist? Or we'll talk about that in the weeks to come. And he wrote until the fall of Rome. Next one. This is what most Americans believe and have been taught because of the view of the rapture. Pause. If you take, and again, I don't care what you think. It's what you do with what you think that matters. If you remove the rapture theology that started in 1820, the rapture theology completely out of the timeline, you realize that we've been in cycles the entire time. But if you put the rapture theology in, this does actually make sense, whether rapture theology or not. Let me explain. All right, so the seals start to rise with the Antichrist, the white horse. And he made war, and he removed peace, and he turned people against each other, red horse, resulting in economic destruction, black horse, and ending with physical death by the sword, with famines and pestilence and wild beasts of the earth, and the spiritual death of humanity, pale horse, which basically what this view is the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse will soon start riding. Seals have not broken yet. And here's the deal. I actually disagree with this one. If you think it's happening, the answer is I agree with you, but I disagree with you. The reason is I believe that and I'm going to do a dramatic pause and let you hate me it's okay. It's okay. Because open-handed, close-handed, okay, right. I believe with everything inside of me that we are currently living in the tribulation period. Because if you take rapture theology out, ever since all the cycles of humanity has always happened. So the reason why I agree with this in some sort is it's going to hit a wall, which we'll talk about in a second. All the cycles of the seals have been happening. Then it's going to hit a wall, which we'll talk about in the next point. It's going to hit a wall, which results is, yes, the Antichrist is one of the white horses. Yes, there is a red horse of taking it away. Yes, and yes. And seal number 5 and seal number 6 and so on and so forth depicts that. So, ladies and gentlemen, if what's truth, and if you believe, maybe the way I do, I don't know, that the tribulation is now, that means that we've got some lessons to learn because the end's coming soon, which is called the Great what? Tribulation. So we're in the tribulation. The Great Tribulation is happening. So if you're like, what's going on here? Stick with me. Let's history kind of define this a little bit. So let's go to the symbolic, aka the idealistic view. The seal event is going to happen repeatedly throughout history, throughout events through history, each leading one after another to a final end of Christ Jesus' return. The four horsemen of the apocalypse have been writing